Every year, the college recognizes individuals as Distinguished Northern Lights College members by awarding Honorary Associate of Arts degrees. These degrees recognize individuals who have made direct and significant contributions to our region, have enhanced or promoted the college's image or reputation in British Columbia or beyond, or have distinguished themselves provincially, nationally, or internationally in the fields of education, public service, business, the professions, or the arts. The first honorary degree recipient this year is Connie Greyeyes. Connie is an activist, business owner, and community leader. She's an Indigenous woman of Cree heritage, and she works tirelessly to advocate for the Indigenous people in our Peace region, across Canada and internationally. In the past, she has also consulted for NLC. Connie continues to raise awareness about missing and murdered Indigenous women in the Northeast and provides support for affected families. Her research work on this issue with Amnesty International has been instrumental in mobilizing government action. Connie's passions lie in improving the well-being of the people in the Peace region. Through her tireless advocacy work, she's gained expertise in the area of Indigenous rights, development, and gender-based violence.
Tanse, Jahanajay. I would first like to acknowledge that we are on the traditional territory of the Denizah people of the Treaty 8 territory in northeastern BC. My name is Connie Greyeyes, and I'm currently the Northern Case Manager for Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women and Girls for the Indian Residential School Survivors Society. I was born and raised in Fort St. John, and I'm the daughter of Veronica and the late Joseph Greyeyes, the granddaughter of the late Philomene Auger, Octave Galliffer, Agatha, and Harry Alec. I'm the proud wife of Christopher Dick and the mother of two amazing sons, Jason and Jordan. Quite simply, out of everything that I have worked on in my life, there has been no greater accomplishment than becoming a mother. They are also my greatest teachers. They taught me about patience, understanding, and deep-rooted unconditional love. It is important for me to introduce myself this way to inform people about where I come from. I never used to acknowledge those important people in my life because it never occurred to me that I am who I am, largely because of them. I spent much of my life pretending that the Indigenous part of me didn't exist. If I am to be truly honest about it, it used to embarrass me. I hated the color of my skin and wished I'd been born pale with blonde hair and blue eyes. Funny, even back then, I knew that I had a disadvantage because of my heritage, although at the time I didn't know it had a name. Most of my life had been spent trying to fit in and be accepted, and it wasn't until I became sober at the age of 32 that I embraced who I was, where I come from. This is where my education truly began and where I will begin. For much of my life, I've had the greatest teachers, the first being my parents. It was my mom and dad who taught me to be kind and generous. Both of my parents were residential school survivors, and even though they had endured abuse that would break many, they still lived their lives grateful for everything they had and taught us gratitude. It was through their example that I came to accept and acknowledge that even through the pain that I experienced through my own life, it was an opportunity for growth and learning. When I was a young girl, my parents would often invite homeless people to the house, and they would ask us girls to make them tea and something to eat. I remember feeling upset and angry at having to cater to random people who would stop in at our house and begrudgingly do what I was told. A good reminder for me to be humble and kind to people, especially when they were battling addiction and going through hard times. Simply put, be helpful when the opportunity presents itself. While I still have my moments, I'm taken back to the valuable teachings from my parents. I now understand and fully comprehend that they had prepared me for my life's work, helping people. To be there unconditionally for another human being is what I'm known for, and that's a direct result of how my parents raised my siblings and I. I was blessed in my life to have 11 siblings to love and grow up with. While I've had the huge loss of 4 of my brothers, the many things that they taught me in my life will forever be with me. My brother Oliver passed before I was born, so I never had the chance to meet him. I have a picture of him stored in a special place, and every once in a while I take the picture out and gaze at his face. It's an odd feeling to have such grief for someone you never had the chance to know. My brother Clifford taught me about hard work and perseverance. I remember being so proud when he started his own business. When he passed, it was like a superhero had passed. My brother George passed at an early age, and as the years went on, I have grieved for this relationship because he left this world when I was 6. I remember him fondly with his cool car and handsome looks. I can still picture my mother and the immense grief she had when we lost my brother Georgie. The life-altering event taught me that the human heart has the capacity to heal after such unimaginable tragedy. My brother Peter taught me about laughter. He had the greatest sense of humor and could make anyone laugh, even at your own expense, which was often the case. I am lucky enough to have two brothers with me still. My brother Johnny, who recently underwent heart surgery, has taught me that regardless of our beliefs, we can still have a deep love for one another. We don't always have to agree with people, but we can still have respect. As for my brother Jimmy, I've always admired him. He was tough as nails growing up and always had my back. When we lost my father, he stepped into that father role without even knowing it, and it was a natural transition. He reminds me so much of my dad, and I'm so grateful to have him as a mentor. How blessed am I to have had such tremendous male role models, even briefly. All 5 of my sisters have been my biggest supporters, my voice of reason, and my biggest cheerleaders. My eldest sister, Linda, has taught me perseverance, battling through illness and still maintaining grace. My sister, Marge, who has always been there for everyone, whether it be alone, medicine, or food, she has taught me to be generous and caring. My sister, Susan, who recently battled breast cancer, has taught me that through the hardest times in our lives, that if we keep faith in that higher power, we can overcome anything, even through sickness and uncertainty. I have deep respect for her, and I am so grateful the Creator spared our family and that she is still here with us. My sister Marlene, what can I say about what she has done for me? She accepted me and took me in when I had nowhere to go, and I dipped in and out of deep addiction for many years before becoming sober on February 13th, 2003. She opened her home to me when I needed it most and gave me a second family. I have a close relationship with her and her children, whom I love like my own. My younger sister, Patsy, my best friend in the whole wide world, is my greatest friendship. She has taught me so many things in my life, but the biggest is that we are not what people think or say about us. She taught me that the most important thing in life is to not allow other people's opinions of us deter us from the good work that we are intended to do. I would like to acknowledge 2 women who mean very much to me, sisters in every sense of the word, Colleen and Holly. Thank you for the many memories, for the tears, the laughters, the phone calls. I couldn't love you more than I already do. It's that kind of sisterly love that we all share that is fierce and unconditional. I've also been blessed in my life to have many elders and traditional medicine people that would talk to me often about the good life, teaching me about my culture, traditions, medicines, and ceremony, which keep me on a good path. I thank each and every one of you for your valuable time and knowledge. To my husband and children, I share this with you, as it was you who have given up much of your time so that I could help others, spending many nights at home while I was away for this conference or that conference, AGMs, inquiries, interviews, parliament. The list is endless. My children have often said, "It's okay, Mom. We know that this is really important and someone has to speak for those that can't, and you make us proud." Those are the kinds of human beings that I am raising, and I'm so honored to be their mother. Chris, there just aren't words for the love and support you've given me. You are an amazing father and partner, and I know my dad would have been so proud of both of us. I love you endlessly and thank you for sticking by my side, even when I'm acting a fool. To my nieces, nephews, and grandchildren, all of this has been done for you. My hope is that in some way, the changes that myself and many of my friends work towards provide you the opportunity to have a better life, a safer life, and one where you feel valued. A life that is filled with love and pride for yourselves and your accomplishments. You see, this has been the goal all along, making life better for the youth in my life. You all make me so proud to be your auntie and Cookham. To the graduating class of 2020, my advice to you is this: while formal education is important, it is equally important to acknowledge those lessons we have been taught throughout our lives by the many important people we have been blessed to know. I would never have thought that volunteerism would lead me to where I am today and receiving this honor. The many teachers I have had the honor of knowing, I thank you for sharing your wisdom with me. In closing, who would have thought that this Nihiau girl from Big Stone Cree Nation would be receiving this today? I'm here to say that we all have the capability to come out of darkness into light with love and support. I have battled racism, all forms of abuse, addiction, self-doubt to become the person I am today. I love my beautiful brown skin and everything it means to be an Indigenous woman in this world. It is an honor to be able to do what I love, and I've made the greatest friendships along the way. To my dad, I can just hear you say, "Jumping Moses, they gave you a degree." Why, yes, Dad, they did. And it's all thanks to you and Mom. Hi, hi. Black Lives Matter.